large blended family, and I was the youngest girl, and I was also the prettiest girl. And this was something I heard quite a bit as a young child, sometimes to my face, and sometimes it was just stuff I overheard. And this doesn't take away from how beautiful and amazing that my older sisters are. I just was the newest I was the newest baby, and apparently I was the prettiest. So I heard that quite a bit growing up until I got to that awkward stage of growing up that everybody, very characteristic of just who I am, right? I'm a small, petite, compact woman with a big personality. I have a small, petite, compact jaw with big teeth. So when my permanent teeth came in, and lucky for me, my permanent teeth came in pretty late. And so late, in fact, that the dentist had to help me out by pulling a lot of my baby teeth to move the process along. So my permanent teeth came in later than the rest of my friend group and my peer group. But when they did come in, man, they were messed up, yo. You know, this tooth went this way, this tooth went this way. They were crooked and crowded and big for my mouth, for this, this little girl with these big teeth. And I went from hearing how pretty I was to, when you grow up, you're going to be so pretty. When your teeth are straight, you will be so pretty. And nobody had bad intentions with it, but what they planted in my subconscious, unbeknownst to them, was I wasn't beautiful as I came in the moment. That beauty was something that was over there for me and will be later, and is only attached to something else. So what if my teeth never got straight? Would I not have been beautiful or pretty, right? And what if I never got over there? And where is over there? When you grow up, that's such a broad comment. When is that? When do I grow up? And when will I be pretty? So that was the first time that I think that started shifting and changing in my mind, and I started to question whether or not I was pretty, because obviously, now that my teeth are crooked, it's not now. It'll be later, over there. I'll be pretty because of something else, but not because of who I am now or where I stand in this moment.
I always thought that I was ugly, and I lived the ugliness for years. I have a sister that's 1 year and 1 week younger than I am. And I'm with the people at my grandmother's house, and we're there every Sunday. We're all dressed up, we're all cute, and the people would say to my little sister, "Oh, isn't she beautiful?" And there I would sit, or there I would stand, and no one said that I was beautiful. So, consequently, I believe within that if I was beautiful, they would have told me that I was beautiful. What got tattooed on my little old child heart, and what got tattooed continuously, even after I got married, that the man that I was married to never said that you are beautiful. So again, that lie that I believed inside continued to be carried forward, that I was not beautiful.
One instance where I questioned my beauty was in 10th grade. We had career day, and I just remember being super excited that day. I put on all black because I thought that was professional, and I was so excited to get there and listen to all of the people that were coming. I was so excited to listen to them speak, and I walked into my homeroom class, and everybody was saying, "Oh my gosh, you look so pretty, you look so pretty." I felt super good that day about myself, I really did. But then there was this one individual that was just like, "Yeah, you look pretty for a big girl." And I just remember it taking the wind out of me, and it stuck with me. It stuck with me. I internalized it very negatively, and it just stayed with me for years. So that was one instance where I questioned my beauty.
Do any of these stories sound familiar to you? For part 2 of the beauty battle, keep watching.
Oh, how beautiful. Oh, how beautiful. So beautiful. Oh, how beautiful. Oh, how beautiful. Oh, how beautiful. Oh, how beautiful. You wanna be beautiful. Oh, how beautiful. Oh, how beautiful. Stunning on the outside, precious on the inside, that's how you should feel. You gotta treat yourself, adore yourself. You gotta give your body time to heal, enhance your mind.
Welcome back to Holistic Beauty. I hope you all enjoyed last week's episode where I discussed how I first started to question if I was beautiful or not. And for me, it started as a very young child with my looks being judged and compared to my sister, making me feel not beautiful at all, making me feel like something was wrong with the way I looked. Well, like I told you, it got much worse. So today we are going to talk about just that. As I began to grow into a teenager, I was very skinny and lanky and just really didn't have much of a shape. And I was made fun of and bullied a lot in school. They called me olive oil. And I was so skinny that the socks could not even stay up on my ankles. They would always fall down in my shoes. Like, that's how skinny I was. So I was made fun of it because of that. And of course, I was self-conscious about my body because there were all of these other girls that were not as skinny as me, that all the guys paid attention to, that all the guys complimented, and then there was me, and they made me feel like something was wrong with being skinny. I was just a teenager and had not finished growing, but I was very self-conscious and very insecure about the way that I looked, and there was always someone there to point it out. I would try to kind of wear clothes that would cover up the fact that I was so skinny, which did not work at all. Like, I would try to wear a couple of pairs of jeans or a couple of pairs of underwear. Yes, I did that. I would wear several pairs of underwear to try to give me some kind of curve and some kind of fullness, just so that I could feel, accepted, so I could feel admired. I wanted the compliments and everything. And this is where it really, really began, that spiral of reaching out and looking and seeking out someone's approval as it concerned my looks. I tried to do things that I thought would get me the compliments or would get me the attention or even make me feel beautiful just for myself. But more than anything, I wanted someone else to affirm that I was attractive or that I was beautiful or that my shape was nice and that what I was wearing was appealing. So I started by padding up the clothes, and that didn't work. Really, I looked ridiculous, but I tried it. It did not work. Late bloomer. So I was kind of flat in the chest department, and I would stuff tissue in my little training bra to try to look a little more developed. And I cannot believe I'm about to tell you guys this story, but it might help somebody. I remember that when I finally did hit puberty and I started to develop, you guys, only one boob grew. I can't believe I just told you guys that. I only had one boob, I kid you not. So then I was really stuffing with tissue paper and toilet paper. I can laugh about it now, but can you imagine back as a teenager, a young teenager, how devastating that was for me? So I would stuff my bra and pad my bra, to make it look like I at least had two, but I would pad it enough, to give a nice ample amount of cushion there. Well, one day, guys, I forgot to stuff my bra, and you could clearly tell that I had one boob. And there was this one guy at school. I am not going to name his name because he might be watching this YouTube video. But he did this to me. He would run up to me and he would grab my one boob and run around and saying, one boob, one boob, one boob. Oh my God. OMG. Talk about devastation. Talk about self-consciousness. I just could have died that day. So that added even more to me wanting to present myself and look in a way that I thought people would approve and validate and say, yes, Lenora is beautiful. Yes, Lenora is fine. Because that was the thing back then. It's still the thing today to be fine, to be curvy, and to have the ample curves in all the right places. And I just didn't have it back then as a teenager. But back then as a teenager, I felt the pressure to look that way. From there, I really began to conform. I didn't even know what I liked anymore, because everything that I did, everything that I put on, the way that I did my hair, the clothes that I put on, just everything about the way I looked was based on what I thought someone else would think, whether I thought it would gain the approval of someone else so that I could get that beautiful stamp that Lenora is beautiful, Lenora is, gorgeous, all that. And so I lost who I was and being so young, I really hadn't even discovered who I was yet, or all of my likes and everything. But this really got lost because I was just conforming and doing everything to gain the approval of others. Now, this began to really take me down a slippery slope, because as I began to become an older teenager and began to have boyfriends and such, I was just, trying to do things to gain that approval. I could never really be myself. It caused me to be afraid to be myself. Not even just in the looks department, but it went much deeper into my personality, because it was like, well, if people don't like what I look like, they probably don't like how I act either, and who I really am. So I had this facade, this representative, if you will, that as a teenager began to show up. And this representative dressed a certain way. This representative spoke a certain way. This representative behaved in a certain way, all based off of whether I would gain the acceptance and the approval of men, of other people. It began where women's opinion didn't even matter anymore. I was craving and seeking and running after what did men think of me? What did guys think of me? Are they looking at me? I need them to look at me, because if they aren't saying anything and they aren't looking at me, I must not look, good enough. I must not be beautiful. They aren't telling me, that I'm beautiful. So I began to seek this out in relationships, and this representative showed up, and I really lost my identity and was not able to discover who I was. Now, this led me down an even slipperier slope. Is that a word? Slipperier. So here I am, this teenager, conforming, not being able to be myself, dressing just to gain the acceptance and approval of others, not able to really begin to discover who I am like you should be at that age. And it continued down an even more slippery slope, really into a dangerous slope, because I continued to get older. And do you know what something like this looks like in an adult? Well, let me tell you, it is not pretty. And if you want to hear about exactly how it looked in my life, I will need you to tune in to next Friday's episode so I can tell you all about this slippery slope of trying to gain the acceptance of others, and just how ugly this beauty battle got in me as an adult. I hope you all enjoyed today's episode, and that it was able to cause you to really think about how this beauty battle showed up in your life, when it showed up in your life, and start to begin to think about how you came out of that battle and how you came through that battle. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I am listening and would love to hear your stories. I can't help but think about, what if a teenage girl is watching this episode and she can identify with my story? She is going through or has went through some of the same things that I did as a teenager. Well, I want to speak to that girl today and let her know that, first of all, let yourself grow up. Allow yourself to grow up. Don't put the pressure on yourself to have an adult woman body, first of all. But there is nothing wrong with the way that you look. Don't compare yourself to others, and don't allow others, man, woman, boy, girl, friend, or family, to put that pressure on you to look a certain way. Accept and embrace your beauty, all your unique features, and the way that you are created, because it is indeed beautiful and okay and fine just the way that it is. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to tune in next Friday to continue to part 3 of the beauty battle. Talk to you then. Bye.